are going to Poland today.
Sorry, it's too cold. I'm not taking out my hands.
So the weird thing is we booked the flight for Warsaw when we was actually meant to go Krakow because Krakow got more things. Warsaw is freaking boring. But we saw like Warsaw was damn cheap, £26. So we just booked that one. Then we barely spent a day there. In fact, the moment we got there, we had to eat lunch and then get on the train to Krakow. And so we walked over to the nearest mall. I mean, Singaporeans love the malls, right? Then we had this thing called Max. So it's not M-A-C-S, but M-A-X-S. Nick Chang told me about it, and it was pretty good and it was quite cheap, but the portions were quite small. Yeah, and then we boarded this like really old train. Well, it was really very old. It felt like I was in Malaysia or some shit. But yeah, Poland is like the Malaysia of Europe. Okay, not really, but just that poor. And on the train, I bought student tickets thinking that we could use the student tickets, but turns out we couldn't. Oh, harass, yay. Yeah, turns out we couldn't, and then we got freaking fined. Actually, I thought about sitting in the toilet, but it was so damn gross to avoid the conductor, but it was damn gross. Yeah, just F it lah, just stay lah. Yeah, so we paid the fine, and then we finally got to Krakow, and freaking night where Andrea was waiting for us, so we met up with Andrea there. Then we went on this ghost tour to because Krakow is like Auschwitz, near Auschwitz and shit, so there was a lot of ghost shit, and then we went on this free walking tour. It was quite nice. It's just that I forgot everything about it. All I remember was that some priest, some like mosaic thing, then apparently got ghosts in the mosaic thing. Okay, I don't even know. And then yeah, this one demonstration of how they tortured people back in the day. They would hang them by the neck and shit. So it's quite cool. Yeah, this is the mosaic thing. Some Jesus thing. Actually no, I don't think it's Jesus, but something. Then because we tipped the TripAdvisor damn low, I think, so she recommended us to this local place. The food was shit. Especially the pierogies. Oh, the pierogies were terrible, man. Like the skin was so tough, like thick, and then the meat inside was so freaking gamey. It was damn gross. Okay, but this cabbage thing with the tomato sauce was not bad, but inside was just rice. I think it's safe to say that I really prefer Krakow. Like the whole vibe and the mood and the atmosphere was so much better. Oh, anyway, this was the apartment. It was very, very nice actually. And here we have a little snippet of Andrea and Haras doing some karate demonstration. So unfortunately they didn't sleep well because me and Edwin were having an orchestra at night. And I had this really weird breakfast thing in the morning after with Andrea's digestive biscuits. So this is actually in Auschwitz already. Then we entered the tour thing. All I remember was that it was very, very sad. Like the whole atmosphere was very somber, very solemn. But I really can't remember anything from my trip there. So throughout the whole tour, there were a lot of these photos that kind of depicted, or actually it is actually the photos and the letters that the prisoners of war wrote. So some of the models are also to show us what it was like. Oh, and there's all these random exhibits of all the suitcases because apparently, or rather factually, when they were brought over to Auschwitz, they were told that they were going to be relocated or something like that. But actually they were all being sent to die, to go to the gas chambers and stuff. So the entire Auschwitz is as it is, as much as possible, and it just shows the conditions of what it was like and how they were led there. So later on, actually, this was the camp, concentration camp itself. Later they would bring us to the site where they were gassed. the place where the trains eventually ended up in. You can see the train tracks still. And this was the remains of the gas chamber. So what the Germans did was that once they knew that they lost the war, they blew up the entire gas chambers to kind of get rid of the evidence. So that was the remnants. Then after the thing, we went to chill at some cafe to get some hot chocolate and stuff, and then it started to snow.
What?
Dude, we're really getting hit by the snow. Wow, look! It literally just only started snowing to this extent. We need to rush for the bus. Oh, the bus is there, okay. After dinner, of course, we had to get bubble tea because Andrea found a bubble tea nearby. And yes, with our very happy Asian faces. And sadly, Haras had to leave us. So, bye Haras. Bye.
What are you doing?
Hoboing, taking advantage of free electricity. Running out of electricity on our portable. Sad.
Hobo life.
Hobo life. We are stuck here while waiting for our Flix bus at 1:35 AM. So what are we doing? We are hoboing. 3 charging ports. So I remember we got off the bus at like 6 or 5, 6, 7 AM. Wow, it was really cold. It was, I think, -5 or 10. I think it was really very cold and there was no one around. So this is Warsaw. Actually very nice. All the very nice European old architecture. Oh, and this is just some flame that they have to keep guard at all times, and it's like 24/7 on. I don't know who's paying for the gas. But yeah, then all the chapels. Then this strangely looks like some Empire State Building, even though I've never been to New York, but yeah, it's quite cool. And then we go in to see some trampolines and see our happy faces just jumping around like an idiot. And after this, we walked over to the cafe, and wow, the cafe was really very good. I remember it was so good that Edwin bought 2 helpings of the bagel, but it was really very delicious. I think because we were just hungry, but yeah, look, the bagel, pretty much better than Two-Man Bagel House, I think. I don't know. And because Andrea's thing was at another airport, so we left her alone. And that's the end of my Poland vlog. Bye bye.